All right, and welcome back. This is going to be part two of our E3 predictions show. Kind of wanted to break it up into two parts. It kind of makes it easier uploading onto YouTube. Yeah, we left off on part one where I had just asked Jim if he thought Project Scorpio was a next gen console.
Yeah, I mean, I really, initially when I was hearing about this, Project Scorpio, I kind of thought that that it will be or was the next gen console. The Xbox One, from its original has been out for a few years now, and I've been hearing scattered reports that Sony will be talking about PlayStation 5 maybe. But again, that's just speculation. However, the stuff that you've just said and some other stuff that I've heard recently is kind of making me question whether or not Project Scorpio it will just be the next gen, or if it'll just be like an Xbox One S 2.0. So I'm really hoping that we'll get some definitive answers at E3 this coming week, so that we can learn about that. And if it is going to be basically just the next level up of Xbox One S, I'm just kind of like, what's the point? Especially with the price tag that I've been hearing attached to it, anywhere from $800 to $1,000. If that's the case, why would gamers go out and purchase that for Xbox One S 2.0, or even a next gen console? You could go out and get a really good gaming PC for that price.
Yeah, and I mean at that point, like you said, like you might as well just get a gaming PC, and especially because Microsoft has said that everything's going to be integrated. Like, you're going to be, if you're on a PC, you're going to be able to play people on an Xbox console and vice versa. So I mean, at that price, you might as well go PC. And because I was always under the impression the opposite. I always thought that it was, just like sort of like a half step in the console generation. But now you're making me question, well, maybe it is a new console,
Yeah,
To me, it would make more sense to announce a new console than,
yes,
this whole
totally.
half step thing. But at the same time, like, everything I had always heard is like there's at least still like a few years left in this console generation, But
Yeah, I mean, maybe we will get some information about Project Scorpio, and maybe it will be saying like, oh, this is the next console, and it'll be hitting stores around the holiday season 2018. Like, that's something that I would that I would, if it is the next gen console, but I would think, would be, pretty feasible, to say like, Xbox One still has like a year and a half, into it. And then, come, holiday season 2018, Scorpio will be releasing if it is the next gen.
yeah, I can't imagine Microsoft not talking about Scorpio this E3.
Yeah, I think there will be a lot of, unhappy people leaving the Microsoft presentation if Scorpio's not mentioned at all.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I think that they will mention it. All right, well, we'll move on to my final thing I wanted to talk about. And it's kind of, there's been a lot of rumors about this out there, but I want to see if Sony talks about at all the possibility of some people are calling it a Vita 2 or Sony's Switch,
Oh yeah.
So it basically came out that, and even prior to any Switch stuff ever being announced or whatever, but Sony had put in a patent for a new handheld, and it's pretty much their version of a Switch. It's going to be a console slash like handheld from what people are saying. And I hope that I first of all, I love my Vita, so a new handheld from Sony would be awesome. And if they are gonna do it, I hope that they talk about it at this E3. I would love to know how they're gonna do it, because if it's gonna be like, obviously, like PS4 is their main console, you know, whereas for Nintendo, their main console now is the Switch. So if Sony's gonna come out with something and the PS4 is still gonna be around, you know, it's ultimately still just a handheld. Now, is it gonna somehow be capable of playing PlayStation 4 games? And if so, the only way I can imagine that being even capable is it's got to be download only. I can't imagine some of those games getting released on like a little cartridge or something, like Switch games or Vita games, you know?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. You know, how they're going to do that. You know, if it's going to be something that's just, you know, say attached to your PSN, you know, I guess user or login. You know, if you log in on both your PS4 and your, you know, and the new version of the Vita, you know, if it, you know, all the games that you have, you know, on your PS4 will automatically just get transferred somehow. You know, that'd be, you know, that's definitely something that I'd be interested to see how they would, you know, work around that. You know, if it is just going to be something that's compatible with the PlayStation 4 and not its, you know, own entity.
Yeah, and if that's going to be the case, if it's going to be something where it's a handheld where you can, you know, play PS4 games on it, that would take interest away automatically for me, because I like physical media and I like having physical games. So anything that's download only, I'm not interested in. But then it also brings up the point that, like, well, then I guess it could still be like the Switch, because it would still be interchangeable. Like, you know, you play the game on your PS4 and you save on your PS4, and that save and all that info is transferred onto this new handheld too, and you just pick up where you left off on your handheld, you know?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. You know, that's kind of you know, something that I've been, you know, that I picture, you know, in that regard, how, you know, they would maybe, you know, make things work.
Yeah, and that's the only way I can think that it would work. And like I said, like, I'm not all about download only. Now, if it could work somehow where, like, and I mean, you know, I don't know much about this type of thing, but if it could somehow be like you have the physical disc on your PS4 and you play it on your PS4 that way, and somehow the data also gets transferred to this handheld, that would be cool. But I can't figure out how that would work. To me, it seems like it could only work if it was a download only game and you downloaded it to your PS4 and it also gets downloaded onto this new handheld.
Yeah, you know, maybe it'll be like, you know, kind of like, I guess, using like an old example now, kind of how, like, you know, back when the first iPods came out, you know, and everybody pretty much had CDs still. They would, you know, put the CD into their, you know, into their computer, and it would download to their iTunes, and then you would go and sync your iPod to your iTunes. You know, I think that, you know, that would be something that I would think, you know, if they could make it work, you know, that's what I you know, would like to see.
Yeah,
or like you pretty much, you know.
If that were the case, I think that would be awesome. You could put the game into your PS4 and it like downloads onto your PS4, and then you sync this new handheld console.
Yeah, sync your handheld with your PSN library.
And then you could play, and you could go, like, and you're not restricted to like your Wi-Fi connection and you could go anywhere, that would be awesome. And I mean, there's much smarter people out there than I am, so who knows, maybe that is a capability, you know. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
if that were the case, if that's how it worked, I'd be all about it, you know.
Yeah, I think that there would a lot of people would be in agreement with you. For the main fact that it's always the same problem with with Sony, where I think Microsoft kind of pulled ahead of them. The whole backwards compatibility, and everybody's got these large libraries of games that they've paid all this money for, and if they come out with this handheld system, it's like, I have all these games that I want to play, and it'd be great to play them on this handheld system, but there's not really anything in place, So I really hope that, if the Vita 2 or whatever it's going to be called is, announced by Sony, I hope that they, have something in place to explain that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my number one thing. I hope that they talk about something like that.
Yeah.
You know, that would be something that I'm really, really excited for. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. You don't have any other things that you were hoping that get announced, do you, Jim?
Well, let's see. I actually have been playing a new game. I kind of haven't picked up Smite in the last week and a half or so.
Okay, so you've just been kind of playing Smite or whatever then.
No, actually,
Or I'm sorry, you haven't been playing Smite.
Yeah, I haven't been playing Smite. I kind of was playing a match, and I wasn't. I had a few matches in a row where I wasn't playing too well, and I just didn't have the drive to keep playing it. So I actually unhooked my Xbox and hooked my PlayStation 4 up, and I've been playing Final Fantasy 15 for the last week or so.
Thank God you're finally playing that game. I know you bought it and it was just sitting there. I was about to take that to my house and start playing.
Yeah, well, I mean that was a game that I got for Christmas, and it had been sitting there, so I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna play Final Fantasy 15, and I'm glad that I did put it in and start playing it. I've been playing it a few hours, pretty much, from the time I get home from work, from the time I, go to bed, and I'm really enjoying the game. The open world setting in an RPG game, in a Square game, is, amazing.
How many hours do you have into it?
I'm actually not sure exactly how many hours I've put in. That's not really something that I like to keep track of as I'm playing.
That's right.
I just kind of like to go.
Before, yeah.
I just like to keep playing and playing. I don't really like to be like, oh, I put 50 hours into this game, or just as an arbitrary example. I don't really like to focus on that type of thing. I just like to play.
Yeah, yeah. But you're enjoying it so far, though.
Oh yeah, I'm really enjoying the story and the cutscenes. Again, stated earlier that I love Square's cinematics. They're so amazing.
Yeah, and when you were talking about that, I was thinking, I'm like, maybe he started playing Final Fantasy 15 because you had mentioned the graphics on it and stuff like that. But that's one I still haven't picked up yet. I want to get it, but I just haven't found it for a price that I want to pay for it yet. I think it's going for around like between $25 and $30 on eBay right now.
Okay.
But yeah, it's something I want to get eventually, obviously, and play it. Have you been playing any other games or just that?
Just the Final Fantasy at the at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still playing Xenoblade Chronicles. I know I've been playing that for a while now. It's a long game, and it's I'm not really that into it. Like it's a good game, but I'm not it's not the type of game where I'm like, I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm just sort of playing it now to get to the end and beat it so I can play the next game on my list, you know?
Okay, okay. So I mean, does it seem like that it's like, tedious at all, to play it?
No, it doesn't seem tedious. It's just I'm just not that invested into the story, you know? Like I said,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just playing it now so I can beat it and say I beat it and played it, and I'll move on to my next game. Hopefully I'll enjoy the next game more. I'm thinking I'll probably play Persona 5. But yeah, I'm right at the end. Like, I have about 60 hours in. I've read that on average it's usually about a 62 hour game. I'm kind of like in the last area of the game and everything, so I'm getting towards the end. Hopefully I'll beat it soon. So I've been playing that, and I also a couple times have played Mario Kart Deluxe on the Switch. I've gone online and played it. That's a lot of fun. It's very, very addicting and very fun. They have this whole point system thing on there where the better you do in the races, the more coins you get, and then you can buy different things in the game with the coins and stuff like that. And it's competitive though. I usually do pretty well, and like out of my group of friends, I usually do pretty well. Like when it comes to Mario Kart games, I usually come in first, or second place and stuff like that. But when I go online, I'm usually like the middle of the pack, like fifth, sixth, seventh place. So there's some good players out there online.
Oh yeah, I know Mario Kart. Like, that is a really competitive, area, game. It's been a competitive series for people. Is there like when you play online, have you noticed if there's like a tier system? Like you move up. Like some of them, they might start you out as like bronze, but then once you get enough points in bronze, they'll move you up to like silver, and then up to gold, platinum, and so forth.
No, because it's completely random. Like, you basically go online, you get stuck in a room with like, I guess it's like 12 or 14 other people, or at least there's like 12 or 14 racers. I can't remember what it is, and you're all in a room. And basically they give you like 4 or 5 options for a course that you want to race. And everybody chooses which course that they want to race. And whatever gets the majority, that's the course that you race. And then it randomly selects if it's going to be 50cc, 100cc, or 150cc. Most of the time I think it lands on 100cc. But yeah, it's completely random. Like, at least not that I know of. Like, you can't go in and say I strictly want to race in like on the 50cc level. It's usually pretty.
Okay.
It's usually random.
Yeah, that's what like I find that any popular online game that has a competitive edge, I always kind of start thinking esports, and and I'm surprised that there hasn't been anything yet, at least that I've heard of for Mario Kart. That's kind of why I was wondering if there was like tiers where the best racers are in diamond, and the worst or the newest racers are in bronze, working their way up. But I mean, I guess that could be something that if it does move in that direction, might get added in at a later time.
Yeah, well, I know the Nintendo World Store up in New York had a Mario Kart Deluxe tournament up there. And they had like trophies for first, second, and third place and everything. So yeah, I think there's definitely a good opportunity out there for that to become like a big game in the esports world.
Yeah, especially with with Super Smash Brothers, in its various iterations, being there for Nintendo already.
Yeah, 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 and I definitely think that Mario Kart could be a good esport. That would be one that I would actually be interested in kind of getting into, you know.
Yeah, I think that would be an esport that would be, like for the whole family, because some that maybe, is a fan of, one of the shooter games like Call of Duty or CS:GO. They maybe not, want their young kid really watching, CS:GO yet, if they don't believe them old enough, but they want to get them in the esports. Mario Kart could be the perfect introduction to esports for kids of a certain age.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. It could be. All right, well, so nothing else you've been playing, Jim?
No, nothing else you new at this time.
Okay. Have you picked up any new games lately or anything?
No, I haven't really had a chance to go out and pick up anything new. I've kind of had some some purchases that have kind of run long. I've picked up a new set of golf clubs and some things to go along with that. So that's kind of depleted my funds a little bit.
Okay, okay. I've actually gotten a couple of games. They're sort of early Father's Day presents. I actually got. I ordered from PlayAsia.com the Japanese version of I Am Setsuna, which is for the Switch, and it works if you put it in a Switch that's set to English. It'll play in English. So even though it's the Japanese copy, it still plays in English. And we didn't get a physical copy of that game in the U.S., so I went ahead and I ordered that from PlayAsia.com, and it came in the other week, and so I'm excited for that. And I also got I found a good deal on eBay for a signature collection edition of Mighty Number 9 on the Xbox One. And for those of you that don't know, Mighty Number 9 was the Kickstarter game that one of the creators of Mega Man came out with. I think it came out last June. It was supposed to be like the spiritual successor, and people were kind of disappointed in it. Mostly the people that kind of backed it on Kickstarter. I mean, I think it's a decent game, but I didn't back it on Kickstarter or anything. I went out and bought it for $10, and now I got the signature edition of it. It comes in a real nice box. It's signed by the creator. It comes with the game, and it comes with a cool little statue / action figure of the main character, the robot. So it's pretty cool. I still have to set it all up on my gaming collection shelf. But yeah, I got it for $20 off eBay, and it's in mint condition. I don't even know if the previous owner opened it at all. The game's still wrapped in the cellophane, so that hasn't even been opened or anything. So.
Oh wow, that's a great pickup.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about it. So those are the only couple little things I've gotten. Is there anything? I mean, this kind of whole podcast was about kind of what's on your radar, because the stuff we talked about is stuff that's on our radar. But is there anything else that's been kind of on your radar, Jim?
No new games have really, other than what we've, talked about, has popped up on my radar. Although I think I do know that what the next game on my list that I will go out and purchase is. And I think I'm definitely going to go out and purchase Horizon Zero Dawn. After I finish, playing Final Fantasy 15. Not saying that that'll be, very soon, because in an open world game, I like to see everything. So, it might be might not be for another few weeks, but I feel that I'm going to be getting on an open world RPG kick. So Horizon Zero Dawn is definitely going to be the next one I go out and play. I go out and get.
Yeah, and that's definitely one that people have been saying. It's one of the best games that have come out so far this year. So
Oh wow!
definitely worth the pickup from what I understand. I still don't have that game either, but it's on my list as well to pick up
Nice.
for a good price, of course.
Yeah, and I
Alright.
mean, me, price doesn't really, matter to me too much. If it's a game I really want to play and I'm itching to play it, I'll go ahead and bite the bullet and just pick it up. But I mean, uh, especially, if the open world RPG itch, continues for me after I finish Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I don't really have anything that's been on my radar. I guess kind of the only thing was the Lost Sphere game that Square's releasing exclusively on their website, which I pre-ordered. So yeah, that's kind of the only thing that's been on my radar. But we already kind of talked about that, so I won't really talk about it more here. All right. Well, so I think that wraps it up for this episode. So we just want to say, thanks for everyone that listens, and thanks for your support. We really appreciate it. Anything you want to add, Jim?
Yeah, just thanks everybody for listening. Be sure to hit that like button, leave us a comment. Definitely, if you guys have have any of your own speculations on what you think it will be announced at E3 or what you want to be announced at E3, go ahead and let us know. We would love to see that.
Yeah, put it down in the comments if there's anything that you're looking forward to or something that you hope gets announced at E3. Leave it down in the comments, and like Jim said, please like the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and we'll see you next time here on the Jam Gamecast.